Okay, so um I just got finished. I am at the gym currently, so I'm always at the gym because I'm trying to get my body aligned and get it ready for this whole competition. Um, so yeah, I just got finished teaching a class, and now you hear all these circus, and now you hear all these circus babies, uh, young and old. Um, but I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I might have to move. You guys, if you're looking at this, please excuse it. But I felt like I really needed to say this, and I really need to talk about it because it's so great when you're able to understand the devices, um, the evil things that come across you, and you don't really acknowledge that it's coming your way because of the breakthrough, because of what is going on. So, so yeah, I talked about how I got another job, and it's making me be able to move around and do the things that I want to do and the things that I am called to be. Everyone has a calling in life, to do something. And when you don't do it, you feel like you're out of place. I never felt like I was so out of place and out of touch in my life until going through this, whole situation. So, yeah, so I got another job, and I leave in 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm still gonna have the job that I do have. Well, one of them, I had to let one go, but the other one I was like, I'm still gonna keep because I can go as I can be on just call on or PRN as needed. So I told my boss, trying to be just respectful before I put in the 2 weeks in, like to let her know ahead of time, what's going on. Like I very much appreciate you, even though she was very kind of rude. She has this kind of attitude, and I think she calls it keeping it real, but it is just keeping it broke. Okay, keeping it broke and make people just don't want to help you. Sometimes she's very rude, very arrogant, and instead of being like I can't say that she's not a team player because she will get up there and work. However, just how she communicates to people is very ineffective. And it is very harsh, and some of the stuff is not necessary for her to say. It is a fine line between keeping it real and just keeping it trashy and unethical and unprofessional, which is what she definitely crosses that line. But anywho, like I said, I don't try to change anyone by how they're doing. I just try to go based off of what I'm doing. I'm only in control of myself. So I called her and I'm like, I just want to give you the heads up. I thank you so much for everything, but I'm going to PRN, so I won't be under your management. But I just want to thank you so much for all that you do. I didn't say whether or not I agreed to what she's doing because it is hard work, believe it or not. I was like, thank you so much because I know for all the hard work that you do. But I wanted to let you know ahead of time before I put it in so you won't have it coming as a shock. So instead of her saying, oh yeah, I appreciate it, she comes out with more bitterness and just, whoa, you can't do that because who's going to go and get your stuff and you need to be this, and well, I'm just keeping it straight up with you. And I mean, it was just so belligerent. And I was just like, I'm not leaving. Like, if I do have time, I would definitely go and assist. I also recommended other people who's going to training right now to go help her with her home and with everything. And I mean, she was just belligerent and just rude. Not only that, it trickled down to, I did tell my coworkers, like the week before, that I probably would be getting another job, and I thought I was going to get it within the next month, but they liked me a lot that I got it right on the spot from the second interview. So they knew a little bit about it, but before I could even tell them that I got it, she just was like, made this huge situation, made everything very difficult, and was like, well, she's just like F everybody else and this and that. And I mean, everyone was like, took it to a whole nother level to where I was just like, I came back into a more unhealthy environment. And I just looked at it and I was like, dang, why? Like, I've been so helpful. I've been going above and beyond. I've been staying over when she needs me. Every single person that's in that house, that is in there now, they needed time off. I came in when they, needed time off. I haven't taken not one day off work. I come in early. I stay late. I try to encourage people not only, just with the job, with all the other issues that they go on with their own life. I still try to be encouraged, including not even talking about the things that I go through, And I was like, God, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? And then she called back. It was so crazy because I told her about this yesterday, and then today she was like, my boss was like, well, you know what? I would be able to lead too if I had all the freedom that you did. And I was just like, wait a minute, is that little like assault? Like putting salt in the game? Like what kind of stuff is that? Like who gets up and says that? Like you can do it whether you have time or not, And I didn't go back and say, well, I made time for myself. I did you can do it too. I didn't even go into that because I started. God gave me a revelation right then to let me know that was just jealousy. That was just people hating. They're seeing that you're making progress, because when we were all not happy with what was going on during that time, instead of just moping around, I really get kind of bottled down sometimes when I talk. If I talk really negative, that lets you know that I'm really depressed, because usually I would say, okay, what do I need to do to make this better? And I just try to work on it until I got better, and that's what I did. Instead of just sitting there moping and saying, well, maybe one day I'm going to get up and leave, I just said, I'm going to leave at this such a date. It wasn't even to the point, because I was going to leave regardless if I got the other job or not. I was going to go to the PRN status by the end of next month. But God had it to where he provided for me that I ended up getting, this job just boom, right off the spot. But it let me know that these things happen whenever you're making a shift, whenever you're making a change. And it made me realize about, dealing with that whole pageantry thing, because I didn't know. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't know anything about competition other than academics, but I didn't really put everything into perspective when you win. When people think that you're not going to do anything, you're not a challenge, you're not a threat, so you're not going to see a lot of the biting. Now, you might have people saying, oh, you can't. That's the first obstacle. But once they see that you can, then they're attacking not only you, they're attacking you based off of what they've been through, what they, see, because they see that you've done it. They can no longer say that you can't do it because you've done it. So now they have to make an excuse for themselves in order for themselves to be better. Because if you could do it, then they know that they could do it, and they don't want to do it. So it has some issues with self-validation. They have to validate themselves and stuff like that. But it showed me that that was my joy. It showed me that I was doing the right thing. Just because these people are pushing back at me and doing all this, it doesn't mean that I need to be sad about it. Understand that the attacks are going to come. There's nothing that I can do about it other than to keep my spirits uplifted and keep my mind focused in the right direction that I want to go in. Also, I noticed that my boss was just really trying to pad me with a lot of write-ups. And I was like, wait a minute, this didn't come, And one, she kept saying, well, I saw you initial this one, so you have to get written up. And I was like, I don't believe I did that. And I was like, okay, so I ended up signing it. But then when I looked in the booklet, I learned that I didn't even do the error, And so I just noticed all of that. And I was like, you know what? I was like, should I fight this? And I thought about it and I prayed about it. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, no. Just get out of the scenario. Because the thing is, you just woke up. That was my joy right there. Joy cometh in the morning. I eventually found out that, and I knew that in the beginning because I really kind of didn't want to be in that particular zone. I love the company, but I didn't want to be in that particular zone and in that particular home because I saw how in that whole organization, you will see everyone would gang up on one person and push them down to make themselves look better, and everybody would gang up on them just for relief. And the person, if somebody else went against the person, the lead person who was going against this one person, they would all gang up on that person too. So that's what I started noticing, and I was like, I really didn't want to. I didn't want to get into that. But like I said, I understood that that was my wake-up call, and not to be fearful of it. That's just a part of growth. A lot of people are not going to receive. They are not going to receive, nor do they want to receive growth. Because growth hurts, okay? I don't care what anyone says, growth hurts, okay? When I had to learn that I had to get away from people that I knew and people that, that I seen every day, I had to get in uncomfortable situations. Yes, it was hurtful, it was scary, but it was necessary for me in order to get the things that I wanted and desired out of life, So don't get weary of that. Thank you for whoever is tuning in. I didn't even know I had someone on here. I really don't look at it, but I noticed. So thank you. Yeah. So that's basically it. Don't give up when you start going through stuff, and you're breaking ground, just like a plant. Growth does hurt. Getting your head around. I don't know. Yeah, it really does hurt. It's like planting a seed. When it breaks the ground, that's like, it's like a cracking. It's like a cracking. Or like, say for instance, you have a thorn, and it pierces your skin. It hurts. It hurts. In order to get it out, you got to pull it back out, which hurts even more, But it's necessary for you to heal. It is necessary for your skin to get better and replenish and get rejuvenated. That's the same thing with you in your whole life during this whole time. If you want to get better with yourself, you're going to start noticing some things that are coming to you. You're going to notice some situations, and not only that, you're going to notice that some of those situations can involve people being around you. And that was my whole wake-up call with that too. It was a lot of people that are at my job, and not only at my job that I'm in contact with, and they're doing the same things. And it's not like they're bad or anything like that. When you see it and you notice it, it's usually because you were doing the same thing too. You were in the same motion. You just woke up and saw something different, and you wanted something different, and you understand in order to get something different, you have to do different things. So that was my take. That was my take on that. I didn't want to like get deep in it. Like all these people walking around like listening. I guess that's a good thing. But like I said, I'm at the gym, so yeah, I really wanted to talk about that. I really wanted to let people know how to go through this. Not only that, I noticed that me going through this whole situation and going through this, it has a meaning. If you look on the news right now, people, when I first went through this in 2015, nobody was talking about this. Nobody was talking about homelessness. Nobody was talking about drugs and alcohol. Nobody was talking about mental illness. Nobody was talking about any of that stuff. People doing hateful things to you. Nobody was talking about that. Now all of a sudden, it took like 3 years, and I still talk about it on my blogs and stuff. And my blogs was getting shut down, a lot of things. Now people are talking about it. So it's letting me know that what I went through wasn't in vain. My experiences weren't in vain. My mental process, I thought I was going nuts at that time because there was so many people being hateful to me, and then the outlashing and the people who did it, you know, were close to me. These were the people that were closest to me. I had the outside hatred, but the people, you know, what hurts you the most, the people who can hurt you the most, people from the inside, because people from the outside, they only know outside stuff, you know, and you don't give out all your information, you know, unless you're just some kind of weirdo, you know. Sometimes I do give out a lot of information, but the people closest to you are the people that hurt you the most, because they know the most about you, and they know your insecurities better, sometimes better than you know yourself, you know. And that's what I did. I had people who were in this friendship category that should have been out a little bit, you know, further, and it distorted everything that I thought was true, you know. It distorted almost everything that I believed in, because I'm around people who didn't have good intentions for me, and the outside people were like looking at me like, this is nuts. Yeah, that is true. So that was like an opening for me, and it was not saying that I'm stuck in the past, because I'm definitely not. It's just reflecting back, just looking back and seeing the progress, you know. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like, oh yeah, well this shit, and I'm not getting over it. That's not the case. I'm just saying right here, it's led me. That's why this topic is called Joy Cometh, because it showed me that I was not going insane. It showed me the power of listening to what is inside of me, and listening. I got Cheetos in my nails. That's kind of gross. Listen to what is inside of me, and not what the outside world says about you or what other people are saying about you. It took me some time to understand it, and I didn't have that. I didn't have the time to get quiet and get close. So that's what I learned from that. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, definitely email me. If you want to support, definitely link in, and I will definitely give you the information on that, because we're still have some cake. I don't want any cake. You can save the cake. Cake for you. Thank you, but no thanks. Yeah, cake is kind of bad, especially since I'm exercising. No thanks. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. If you're looking at this, thank you for reviewing it. If it's something that you can share with other people, definitely share. If it's something you can use, great, use it. If not, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.